This week's Words from Our Mouths is brought to you by three men in a tub. The three men are myself, Pete, I'm joined by James, and we have a special guest for you today. He's not famous, don't get excited. James, first of all, how the hell are you?
We've got to guess you should abuse him instantly in the first minute.
He's fine. Don't you dare talk, it's not your turn yet.
I imagine we should sat there like, oh shit. I'm good, how are you, Pete?
Yes, I am, thanks. Nothing else to add? Okay, cool. Let's just get on.
I was expecting you to introduce the guest.
I'm going to now. I thought you were going to say something.
We're such professional podcasters.
Well, you know, if people have listened this far, then they know what they're in for. It's their own bastard fault at this point.
I'm still tempted to start with the burp.
Today we're joined by someone who's actually qualified for more than just sitting chatting shit behind a microphone. Someone who's like... Perry. Say hi, Perry.
Hi, Perry.
There we go. I didn't discuss this with you before. Do you want me to call you Perry, or do you want me to call you something else?
No, Perry is fine.
Perry is fine.
I don't like it if people know my real name, so
okay,
let's keep it at Perry.
Yeah, Perry.
We've committed to Perry now.
Yeah, it's a good job, isn't it? Really, because I mean,
we could just start again, but nah, fuck that.
What, you want me to clap again, so you have a time point?
No more clapping.
You've done your. Oh dear.
Oh god damn it. For everyone who's confused, to sync the audios, we all clap at the same time. There's about 9 claps now, and I'm going to get very confused. So if Perry's about 6 hours ahead of us, that's why.
How long is this podcast going to be? I'm not sitting here for 6 hours.
How bad is my editing is the question.
Perry, like, while you're here, I should have asked you this before, but I'm going to ask you now anyway. So, genuine reactions, you know what I mean? Do you want to talk about work or not?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind.
Sure. Oh, okay, because
this is the sort of shit we definitely should have sorted beforehand.
It is,
but this is good because now you have what Pete said, a genuine reaction. That's better, I guess.
Yeah, so we're not like forcing anything. No, we're just forcing the topics on anybody. You know, work. It's like,
but if he'd said no, how awkward would it have been?
No, it'd have been fine. I would have just said fine. We'll not talk about work because I know plenty about Perry in order to ask him questions about what he does in his spare time. Mostly because every 10 minutes he puts a picture on Discord, so I know what he's doing at any given time.
Cats.
Oh God!
Not
actually,
only cats.
Not only cats. No, sometimes I get disgusting numbers and charts and figures that I don't understand.
That's true. I like to sometimes confuse people with what I do, and I'm very good at that.
Confusing right now, any listener is confused. What do you do, Perry?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Sometimes I also don't know what it is.
What are you supposed to be doing?
But I'm actually participating in a PhD program in molecular genetics. It's a very fancy word, but it basically means I look how in cells and in the body, because the body is made of cells, how that is influenced by certain proteins or a gene or whatever.
But you're still going to make me dinosaurs, right?
Yes, I'm still going to make you dinosaurs. That's true.
Molecular genetics, that's making dinosaurs as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, because that's what cloning is. Exactly.
Yeah. I don't care if there's 5 films telling us we're making dinosaurs is a bad idea. Dinosaurs is a good idea.
That's
if
true.
I may interject, I don't want you to make dinosaurs.
What is wrong with you, Pete?
It didn't
Imagine
end
the
well.
look on your son's face.
When he's being eaten by a dinosaur, I'm sure he'd be so excited.
He will be enjoying it so much.
Looking at what we can do today, I wouldn't be surprised if someone with a lot of money and spare time already tried it. So I guess that the fact
Elon Musk is going to make us dinosaurs.
He's too preoccupied with space to start digging up fossils and
maybe
animate
he's
them.
putting the dinosaurs on Mars.
What? Why?
Because it's a lot safer than putting them in San Diego.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, true.
If you had the ability to reanimate a fossil, would you do so?
Yes.
I wasn't asking you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tricky question. It's a very tricky question. I mean, it's basically... it's not that I don't mind playing God or something, because it's something you already do as a scientist. Sometimes you create new stuff, new life. You end life sometimes for science. But would I create a living thing out of a fossil?
Whenever I did science, I made a mess, but
I think it depends on the setting and who's asking. If it's just like trying it somewhere, knowing that if you succeed that no one is going to reproduce it or abuse it, but then maybe yes. But I don't think that's a feasible approach. I think it's a utopia to do that. To think that
all of science gets abused.
Yeah, exactly. So
And
I
not just
find a way
science,
to,
people abuse like discounts at the shop at the corner as well. You know, it's
How do you mean?
I missed that, Pete.
I'm saying it's not just science that gets abused. You know, if somebody can like try and swindle to use an old coupon at Tesco, they'll do that as well. Everything gets abused. You know, I'm just saying if it happens on such a small scale, if you can create things out of fossils to be your mindless slaves, that's going to get abused as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like those people that went to Sainsbury's and stuff in the self-checkouts and would buy a PS5 and they'd put it on the scale and type onion. I put it as an onion and put it like 8 onions because the weight of the PS5 is about 8 onions. Pay their 62p it was and walk out with a PS5.
That's pretty clever.
People did that. People got away with that.
I have multiple questions. Like, why would you know that one PS5 has the same weight as 8 onions?
So you
And
can
the second-
steal one.
No, the second, which place sells both onions and a PS5?
Oh,
Sainsbury's,
Tesco,
Tesco's,
Asda,
all
Sainsbury's,
supermarkets in England.
Morrison's.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah. They have electrical sections. Those you can get a pair of jeans, some underwear, a bottle of wine, a steak, PS5,
A new
some dodgy
phone.
porn, a new phone,
You can
Remember that
exchange
from
your
my,
money for
from
travel
my
as
trip.
well.
and an eye test.
It's not even kidding. It's like the you know, you see the images of like American supermarkets like Best Buy and stuff, and they say
That's
like,
what we're becoming.
"Oh, you can go see a doctor for a prostate exam as well as pick up your groceries." That's what's happening over here right now. We're becoming so Americanized.
And you can get your shoes fixed.
I've never. I didn't know that
The
one.
Sainsbury's I go to have a cobbler. He also does keys and stuff, and I think that tends to be what they do more.
Is it like
and
a
dry
Timpson's
cleaning.
or something?
It's a Simpson, yes.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, they started Glumpy as a cobbler. They fixed shoes. Buy a new pair of shoes.
Like, no,
that
you see,
hard.
no, I had this conversation with somebody. Buying a new pair of shoes is perfectly valid because we'd only spend what at the max like £60 on a pair of shoes.
Yeah, if you got
you'd-
hundreds of pounds.
Yeah, if you spent
shoes.
£900 on a pair of shoes, you'd get it fixed for £70.
Well, here's a better idea. Stop spending £900 on shoes.
I mean,
Yeah, but-
if you've got loads of money and then suddenly you've not got loads of money,
But also,
It's because
More
you've got no money anymore because you're spending it £900 on shoes.
well, exactly.
but more expensive shoes, well, depending, of course, what type of shoes, but they're also sometimes of better quality, so maybe they live longer.
But if you're buying like a 60 quid pair of shoes, you can still get a fairly decent brand. High quality shoes for 60 quid. Like I buy Skechers.
I
They
buy
last me like a
Hush
year.
Puppies.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, it's a,
Is it like
the
the
brand of-
icy drink that you can get? Oh, no, that's Slush Puppies. Never
that's
mind.
Slush Puppies.
It's very similar, but it's like an icy, refreshing drink for your feet.
Before I forget, we need to go back to it, to the 8 onions as a PS5. We've got self-checkout things in the UK, so you can like do all your scanning all yourself. So if you were to buy like loose vegetables, you type what it is and put it on the scale there, and it would tell you how many onions it is, like 6 onions or whatever. So it just weighs it for you. So they'd put the PS5 there, weigh that, telling the computer it's onions, not a PS5.
Jesus. Super
That's how
smart.
people got
I
away
mean,
with
super
it.
smart, but also kind of shitty. But
That's why these days you get the little security tags jammed into the PS5 box with a massive hole in the box, ruining the box, because people were buying
Ruining the
onions and being
box.
PS5s.
Ruining the box. I just bought a £500 console. Oh my god, there's a hole in the cardboard that keeps it
Yes.
safe.
But as you probably can't tell, but I have a different mic again this week than what I did last week because I bought a brand new microphone, and not a cheap one, a Rode. Used it fine for 3 days. Suddenly it stopped working. Because I kept the box in good condition, it was and all the packaging and all that. It was very easy to repackage for it to be picked up by DPD tomorrow or DHL.
You could
Or
have just
whatever
throw it.
packaging
You
company
could
are
have just
picking
threw
it
it in a shoebox.
No, because they asked me to return it in the original packaging.
And what if that's not possible?
then you can
Well, it
use
is because I looked after it.
But
Yeah,
if
but what
it's
if it
not
wasn't?
possible, they always accept other packaging.
They probably do, but it's just better being in the original packaging.
Why?
I still
How
have
does
the
it affect the product that you're returning, James?
Right,
They're
this
not
is my
going
best
to
argument for
resell
this.
it. They're not going to fix it and resell it in the packaging that you sent
So-
it back in.
This is my best argument, though. Would you keep a TV box?
No.
No.
Both my screens, I've kept the boxes for.
Why?
And when I moved to Wales, what I could do was take the screens off my desk, take the stands off as you're supposed to, put them back in the original packaging with all the foam and the padding and all that lot. So when I moved to Wales and jammed them in the back of the car with all my other stuff because I moved in 2 cars rather than getting a van because I'm cheap, they were still protected.
Do you know what I did? I wrapped them in a towel and they were protected.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, but
Well, not a towel, but I just placed it
I
in
was
the
m-
back of the car.
I was moving 3 hours away, so I had to get everything in one trip. I didn't want to make multiple trips.
So you took
And I
up
managed
more
to get
space
the
with
lot
the
in.
fucking boxes then? It would have been a lot easier if you just
No,
jam it
because I
between
could just
some
stack
clothes.
them. You can't stack screens if they're wrapped in a
You
towel.
don't need to, just ram it between some clothes and it takes up the same space as your clothes.
Clothes are in bags.
Exactly. Put the monitor in the bag with the clothes.
Or put the monitor in the box it came in. It's not that much bigger.
Well, you
It's
still
like my
took up
computer.
more
It
room.
is.
It
It's
is
not.
way bigger.
It is
Sorry,
way
James. Science
It's not.
agrees with me here.
Both screens completely undamaged. I've moved to Wales and since moved back.
My screen
The
to move.
glass-
I've moved addresses like 18 times recently.
Yeah, but you're only moving down the road, so you've done it in 8 trips, not jammed every single thing you own
yeah,
in the
and
back of a
guess
small...
what? It's
Hang
been
on.
packaged and moved that many times. Not just the one trip safely in a box. It's been moved that many times, wrapped in some shitty clothes or towels or something, and they are fine.
Also, I'm stating 2 cars. It is a small Japanese sports car, which couldn't take much in, and a
I always
small
forget how
hatchback.
shit your car is.
Exactly. My car is tiny. I got everything I own, including a 6-foot desk, my computer, both screens, all my peripherals, all that lot, all the clothes I have, my toolbox, which is, you've seen them before, the big high-stack toolboxes, all that lot, all of that in 2 cars.
Did you drive
Because-
like Ace Ventura with your head dangling out the window because there was
Pretty
no
much.
space?
There was a little hole in like the stuff on the passenger seat so I could see the mirror. If I brake suddenly, I lost sight of the passenger mirror for a bit until I moved the stuff again.
Yeah, mirrors
That-
are overrated anyway.
Yeah, who needs to see behind you? You know?
Yeah, exactly. You're driving to the front, no?
Yeah, but like when you have to change lane and we're in England and someone's trying to overtake you because they're because they're a cunt in a BMW with the
Yeah,
indicators
but-
don't work.
Then you just need to drive faster. I know. I mean, it's not that
His
hard.
car doesn't go that fast anyway, and then with all that stuff in it,
no,
drags along the back. It drags along the
The
floor.
s-
Sparks
The points on
flying
my
everywhere.
license says otherwise, Pete.
But, well, okay, it can go over the speed limit, but that's not hard, is it? Doing 38 in a 30 mile an hour zone, oh, you speed demon.
Okay, one of them was for 36 in a 30 zone.
It's still speeding. It
I
still
got done
counts.
twice on the same day in a
Hey,
30 zone.
how much is
Same
that
30 zone.
in normal units, in kilometers per hour?
Oh, I don't
50?
fucking know.
I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
fuck, I'll just Google it.
Yeah, 30 times 1.5 is around 50. Yeah, I guess.
1.6 technically, isn't it?
Whatever.
Oh, you
I
see-
corrected the science man.
Well, we got a scientist and an engineer here now, so there's 2 very different approaches to maths right now.
Yeah, but don't the engineers usually how do you say that? Round off,
Fuck
so
it
it's
up.
easier to calculate. Like put the gravity at 10, so it's easier than 9.81, etc. Is that the
I-
typical
I
engineering
w-
thing?
But see, I was aircraft engineering there, so you've got to be a bit more precise because planes fall otherwise.
Well, that sounds like their problem, not your problem.
It's my problem when
very
I've
good
signed the
point.
paperwork to say it's safe.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Randomly on this, there was a guy in America who owned a maintenance company, years ago this was, and you may have seen about it before. There was a BA flight where the windscreen blew out and the pilot got almost sucked out of the windscreen, was like left dangling, fucking arms stuck in his arms basically got stuck in his seatbelt, and he was left literally dangling out of the cockpit window while the plane was still in flight. And it turned out basically there was issues all the way through the company, and the manager of the company, if I remember this right, got 135. Numbers could be wrong. You have to quote me on this. Don't quote me on this, sorry. But yeah, it was like 135 cases of attempted manslaughter to be served consecutively. He got like 2,000 years in prison because of like gross negligence.
Yeah, but he'd be out in 1,000 on good behaviour. And just to clarify a point in that story, when you say a BA flight, you mean British Airways flight.
British Airways, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
for some reason, my mind just went big ass flight.
No, British Airways.
Okay, that's fine.
Is it?
I have to make sure that was the way.
Perry, you fly a lot, don't you?
Yeah, last year I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you did.
true.
You flew an awful lot, actually. If we
I think-
calculate your carbon footprint right now, it'd be the size
Well, yeah, that's true. But I did always pay for the CO2 compensation. But that's like €2 per flight, so I don't think it will have a massive impact on global warming in a good way.
No, it will not. That's a tip in someone's pocket, that.
Yeah, exactly.
And none of that. Did that money actually go towards solving global warming, or is it just a way for them to just squeeze a bit more money out of
Yeah,
people
well-
who feel guilty?
They do say they use it to, how do you say it? They donate it to one of those funds that then supports other funds, for example, with tree planting, like Ecosia, the website or the search engine does.
I don't think planting trees is going to reverse the effect of all that jet fuel.
Yeah, I hope, but I don't think it will be enough.
I just got curious and Googled to try to find out how long the sentence was to get it correct. Do you know what the longest sentence anybody was ever awarded was?
Okay, go ahead.
141,078 years.
What?
He got 141,078 years for world's longest sentence for corporate fraud, according to Guinness World Book of Records 2006.
Why is
the longest non-life officially confirmed sentence ever handed in the world? She defrauded more than 16,000 people in a pyramid scheme worth $204 million in 1989.
Was it that Ponzi thing? Was that Ponzi?
Yeah, pyramid scheme Ponzi. Yeah, it was one of those sort of things.
I mean,
141,000 years.
Yeah, but think about it. If you make a scheme and you really rob a lot of people, and then they name that scheme internationally after you, you did a great job. He messed over a lot of people. He fucked over a lot of people.
Create a new brand of crime.
Yeah, exactly. And they call it after you. I mean, it just shows how well done it was.
Yeah, that's like
reading through
pioneering.
this list, some of these are horrible. I'm not going to read them out on the podcast. But some of the things people have been convicted for is brilliant. There was a guy got 1,800 years in 1971 for selling $20 worth of heroin.
18
undercover narcotics agent.
Years.
$20 of heroin.
Nice.
That does not seem proportionate at all.
A guy here, 1,500 years, convicted in June 1970 of selling 3 capsules of heroin to an undercover cop.
Wow.
Well, that's the war on drugs in a nutshell, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
1,500 years.
See, the war on drugs is something. Like, as a kid, you always have it drilled into drugs are bad, don't do drugs, it's fine. And I've never really. I've done paracetamol and caffeine in large amounts, but I've never taken anything. I've had a couple of drinks, maybe, but I've never smoked a cigarette or had any kind of drug. But my views on drugs are not as strict as you might think based on that. Like I am all for legalizing and regulating drugs, and I just it baffles me that that's not a regular practice. So like, particularly in the north of England, that's right, James, I'm highlighting the north, where there's
where the lights don't work
where
properly,
the lights don't work, yeah,
power
exactly.
in the evenings, there's a coal haze in the air still, and everything smells a little bit like gravy.
Exactly.
That north.
And to go along with those problems is that there's a high concentration of drug users in a lot of the poorer areas. But it just seems to make a whole lot of sense to me to undercut the drug dealers, sell cleaner drugs or safer drugs, stuff that's not mixed with random bits and bobs to fill it out.
I completely think the best thing you could do for most drugs is legalise them, because everyone's going to go. A lot of people end up doing drugs and weed and stuff for the fact of it's cool and you're not allowed to do it and it's a bit edgy and all that lot. If it was legalised and taxed, half the people wouldn't bother.
Yeah, and I also noticed that, because I don't have any hard proof, but I know more foreigners in the Netherlands who smoke weed than people from the Netherlands. Because in the Netherlands, if you have, technically you need to have a Dutch ID card to be able to buy it, but if no one checks, then the law is broken. But
nobody checks.
Most people that I know that smoke weed here are not Dutch people.
Yeah.
But I also understand that they don't.
To smoke the weed.
But I also understand that people don't want to allow drugs because they are also harmful or have harmful effects, just like alcohol, by the way, and also normal smoking.
This is my problem with it. It's like, why is weed illegal but alcohol and cigarettes are fine? Because
I think it's
comes
cultural
to
history.
But yeah, it is.
History.
It largely is. But
yeah,
when you look at it from a sense of what actually harms you, it's if anything, it's safer.
Obviously, saying about legalising, maybe not legalise heroin. I know we have legal versions of opioids and all that lot, but yeah, maybe not legalise heroin. That's probably a bit extreme. I'd leave the cocaine and the meth and all that lot as illegal as well. They're not great for you. But yeah, like in weed and
but then there becomes another problem, because in my eyes, what you do with something like heroin is you set up a centre where people can go and buy it and take it, and you buying it from them funds your stay there, and it funds the staff who are looking after you, the professionals who would see to you.
That's pretty much what rehab is.
Well, yeah, but if we did that, then and to make sure the price undercuts drug dealers, so people aren't dealing with it like out and about. There's no point going to your dealer on the corner for it or whatever. However you get hold of it, I don't know. I only know stereotypes in that regard. But there's no point going to get it from someone when you can get
Normally
it
these days it
safely.
involves a text, Pete.
I don't know. Do you go and get it the same place you get a loaf of bread? I have no idea. But in
the north, probably. But
in my eyes, doing something like that, regulating it, because first of all, it becomes a tax revenue as well for the country, which is, fine. It stops police forces having to deal with it. It stops ambulance calls having to come out for it. It stops because it would be self-funding eventually, because people would pay for that privilege to do it, and then people can do it in a safe environment, so it stops unnecessary deaths, or prevents some at least, because by the very nature of the substance you're putting in, you're taking a risk. But
I think even legalising something like, legalising cannabis will lower the drug use of other drugs it has in America, because as much people say it's not a gateway drug, it is at the same time, because it's not a gateway drug in the way it makes you want more. It's a gateway drug because it makes you hang out with people who are going to do heroin. That's why I say it is a gateway drug. It's not... Cannabis doesn't make you go, oh, I've had this high, right, now I need to snort cocaine.
no,
It's
that
not like
might be
It's
the
more
case
of
for
a-
some individuals.
Potentially, but for the vast majority it's not like that. But it's, right, I've gone to buy some weed from the guy and he goes, oh, by the way, I've got coke on offer tonight if you want some. And you go, yeah, go on, I'll give it a go. It's because you're talking to a drug dealer who wants to sell you cocaine because it's more profitable.
Yeah, there is.
It's nothing to do with the addictive side of it. It's more to do with the, I've got coke.
But
James,
also, I think
are you speaking from a personal experience here? Because it's
I've-
very detailed what you're describing.
I've never bought coke, but I have been offered coke when buying weed before.
Well, yeah, okay.
I've been offered a lot of weird things. The best one was when I was in Ibiza, which is always a good start, isn't it? And so a guy comes up to me. We're in a club, as you are in Ibiza. Pulls out of his left pocket, he's got some weed. Pulls out of his right pocket some, I think was ecstasy. I'm not that clued up on what they were. And I was just like, no, thanks, mate. Oh, you want something stronger? Opens his trousers. At this point, I walked away. I had no idea what he had inside his jeans, but I did not want to see. But his logic was, no weed? No ecstasy? What about... And like literally unbuttoned his jeans. At this point, obviously, I walked away, and I'm thinking,
what about
what did you have down there?
you don't want weed, you don't want coke. How about cock?
Was he proposition to be gay sex? Or did he have something stashed down there?
It's most likely he had something stashed down there.
Yeah,
Although,
in his prison wallet.
oh my god, I'm so
We're in the middle of
uncomfortable
the
right
club.
now.
If it's in the prison wallet, we're in the middle of the club, what's he going to do? Turn around, like, bend down and squat and cough in the middle of the club to, like, fucking make a few tablets fall out of his ass? I don't want to see that. I definitely wouldn't want to take them knowing where they've been.
They'd be wrapped
But that's
in
why
a
you
pipe
put them in a
plastic
bag,
bag.
huh?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna
well-
say it's all fine.
I still don't want if it's been up his arsehole.
Well, you won't want the gift I've just posted to you then.
Well, at least I know you and you're vaguely clean. I still don't particularly want anything out of your arsehole, but this was just a random guy who came up to me in the club.
That is weird. But you see, I don't go to club. I don't think I've ever been in a club before, so
It is weird, Pete. People don't normally just drop trow. People
I
don't normally
know.
unsolicitedly drop trow as much as that.
drop
Yeah,
trow.
usually,
I hate
especially
that.
if you're a man, if you drop your trousers in the clubs that I've been, you always get kicked out by security. Well, first beaten up and then kicked out.
Oh wow.
Is that the voice of experience?
No, yeah,
In
I've
the
seen,
clubs
I've seen it happen.
In the
but,
clubs I've been, when you drop trousers, you get kicked out. Are you dropping trow in clubs again, Perry?
Belgium?
Is this why you're not allowed back in Belgium?
Discord because of it.
Well, I did have a residency permit there for a few years, but they didn't extend it for some reason.
Because you were dropping trow in clubs.
No, actually,
Somebody
quit college
reviewing
there,
your
or
case
university,
there and
so
just saying,
I
this
did
is the
have-
guy who keeps taking his pants off in public.
Maybe.
So you've been kicked out of Belgium. I got escorted out of Germany. Pete, what countries have you been kicked out of?
I've never been kicked out of a country.
I got escorted out of Germany.
I have been to, considering I don't like going anywhere, I've been to a surprising amount of countries, which is like upwards of 2. But I've never been kicked out of one. I don't
I
think.
wonder who's been to more countries, me or Perry?
Sorry?
I wonder who's been to more countries, me or you?
I don't know. I'm thinking how
I've been
many
to-
countries I've been.
Yeah, I'm doing the same right now.
Is the UK
Wait.
one country, or can I count
You-
England and Wales as separate countries? Because
No, that's the same country.
is it
Yeah, it's part of Britain.
the UK? You mean?
The UK, sorry, yeah. I don't fucking know this. Southern Ireland is separate, but the rest of it is all the same.
Okay.
Or Republic of
Wait,
Ireland. whatever they call
okay.
it.
Let me think. I need to think out loud because otherwise I cannot get. So I have the UK,
Yeah, you got out loud, then I'll go out loud as well. Yeah, go on.
the Netherlands because I'm born and raised here, Belgium, Germany, France, Poland, Czech Republic, Spain.
Quick question: Is
Italy.
someone counting?
I am, yeah.
Okay, good.
Spain, Portugal, because I'm living there as well now. Switzerland, I've been there as well. I think that's it for now.
That's 11 countries.
I
Jesus.
think I'm gonna win. But you ready to start counting again, Pete?
I'm ready.
UK, Ireland, Southern Ireland, obviously. Netherlands, Belgium, France, Italy, Switzerland, Poland, Germany. I think that's what I went that way. Spain, Portugal, Tunisia, Greece, Brazil, Mexico, America.
There's 16 countries.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm cultured.
You'd really
think
not,
I've
though.
missed one.
You'd think you would be cultured
Dude,
after going to all those countries.
What about the Canary Islands? Are they still part of Spain or are they separate? And Ibiza, because it's an island, but it's part of Spain.
Yeah, Ibiza is part of Spain, with the Canary Islands, I think as well.
Yeah, but I've been to 4 Canary Islands and Ibiza. There's some more there. Oh, and Gibraltar, but that's part of the UK technically.
I've been to...
Oh, I've been to Morocco as well, but that was for like 20 minutes, if that counts.
I've been to England. I've been there quite a lot, actually. It's a lovely place.
No, it's not. It's a shithole.
Well,
That's better than Wales.
the bits I've been to England are a shithole.
The north.
You leave the north alone. Where else have I been? France, Belgium, Cyprus, Germany. That's it. Oh wait,
wasn't counting how
we
good
went
you
we
were.
went in Spain at one point actually, so 6.
Yeah, nice.
That's a surprising
I
amount of
wanted-
countries for somebody who doesn't like going to Tesco to do his weekly shopping. That's a surprising amount of countries.
Yeah, but Pete, I have been in the UK for a few times. I spent 2 weeks in Wales backpacking, and I also don't like spending my weekend in Tesco. Not gonna lie.
That's fair enough.
Wales is a beautiful country, isn't it?
Wales was very beautiful. It was very, especially
walk
because we
about-
went hiking. So through the Brecon Beacon,
Beacons, yeah.
yeah, and all the towns around there. It was really nice. I really want to go
That's
back,
near-
but
That's very near to where I used to live. The Brecon Beacons.
Here's an interesting fact
quite
for you
big
as well,
area.
Perry. A 3-bedroom detached house in London has the same value as all of Wales.
I mean, I've been there, so I'm not surprised as well.
I'll say, technically that's not true, but it wouldn't surprise you either, would it?
Given how expensive housing is in London and how little money Wales has at the moment, no, it wouldn't surprise me.
When I was living there, I almost bought a house. I was looking at a 4-bed house with huge garden, parking for 2 cars, conservatory. It was a stunning house. It was like 110,000 in Plymouth. You
Did
wouldn't
it-
get a studio flat for 110,000.
No, exactly, yeah. Did it give you that?
In London, you wouldn't get a cloakroom for 110,000.
No, you can
Barely
barely use.
parking space.
You can barely use the toilet for that much money in London.
I hate paying to pee. Nothing feels more insulting than
I've never had
pee,
to,
mate.
but I imagine
What?
that I would be really pissed off if that was the case.
You never paid for peeing, so you don't pay taxes or service costs
Oh, no,
for
no,
using
no.
the toilet.
Yeah, I pay that, but like if you're in like Paddington in London has it. You go to the toilet and they've got a fucking turnstile. And you've got to put 20. Actually, I think it's 50p now in the little machine, so you can go to the toilet.
Yeah, in the Netherlands they have that in public places as well a lot. But I kind of like
Why
it
are
because
you charging me to pee?
yeah, so they charge you 70 cents, but you get a ticket, and with that ticket you get 50% discount on the shop where you are to buy something to drink. Because usually it's connected to a small grocery store.
To buy something to drink so that you need to pee again and then pay the service
Yeah,
charge to pee again.
I use it to buy bottled water, etc. But what also is usually, at least in the Netherlands and where I've been is the case, is that at least these places are cleaned thoroughly. Because there is always someone there who every 10, 20, 30 minutes, I don't know how often, they go clean everything.
Wow, well, ours get cleaned every 10, 20, 30 days.
See, what it means
Yes.
in London is the turnstile around the toilet is covered in piss because people go, oh, fuck this, just whacked it out there and peed on the turnstile. I watched 2 blokes do that in the time I was going there, and I was like, I can't go through that turnstile. It's still wet.
Yeah,
I
because
can't put myself through that.
I remember because we were taking when we went backpacking in Wales. We going back, we took the Euro train. How is it called? Is it Euro train?
Eurostar.
Eurostar. Yeah, that was the name. But it goes from St. Pancras, I think. St. Pancras.
Yeah, St. Pancras, yeah.
And because we arrived at 2 a.m. in London and our train was at 10, so we stayed at that station during the night, which is we were 3 adults and 10 teenagers. So I don't advise to ever do that if you're listening. Please don't.
Nope.
I never felt so unsafe as that evening.
Just before you carry on, Perry, nobody listens to this, so you're okay to say whatever the hell you want.
Okay, that's good to know.
What is the percentage of being stabbed? And that situation, high. You're probably like,
Yeah,
did
exactly.
anybody get stabbed?
No one got stabbed, but there was a weird guy who was constantly trying to sit next to us, and he wanted to talk to the kids, but we were like, hey, dude, leave the kids alone. And the kids were trying to sleep, and at a certain point I saw that there were some message services from the train stations in London that you could text to a certain number with your station, etc., and then they would send security people. At a certain point, we did that because we were like, this dude is following us the entire station around, because every time he came to us, we took our things and went to sit somewhere else, but he kept following us. But then I realized the UK is a little, or London, at night.
Oh dear,
It's a little
this doesn't
dangerous.
bode well.
No, how the hell am I going to make this edit
How did
work
we get
well?
here again?
Oh, he's back.
Oh,
Hey,
where did you go?
Did I... What?
your mic went completely silent.
Really?
It was probably just Discord. Audacity will
It's
have,
probably
would have
just Discord.
captured it, yeah. So now
How
we're...
the fuck am I going to edit this together?
It's all right. You'll figure out a way. In fact, while it's all messed up, all that talking about piss made me really need to piss.
No, don't go. I was just going to leave it all in.
Oh God, I have to hold a pee in for like 30 minutes.
Yes, you do.
Oh, that's so uncomfortable.
You're welcome.
My train
So,
of thought
Perry.
is never going to be consistent now.
What, go pee quickly then while Perry tells the rest of his story.
Oh God, thank you.
So Perry, we got as far as, or I got as far as, you text the number
Yeah.
for the security.
Yeah, so the security guard, they at a certain point they popped up, and I don't know what they did. I can't remember if they talked to the guy, but at a certain point the guy started to stop harassing us. So at that moment I was like, okay, now I can finally go to the bathroom. And then I noticed that it was not very clean.
No.
So that
No,
was
no.
yeah.
Actually, you'll probably find that was quite a clean one. If you can go in there and be able to breathe, that's a clean one.
That's not a very good promotion you're making.
Well, for London, there is no way you can
advertisement,
promote
that's
London's look any better.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If you want to enjoy London, what you do is you go on Google Earth and you go on the London Eye and you see all the views from there, and that'll do. Because if you go to London, somebody is going to ask you for money every 6 seconds.
Yeah,
Somebody's going to try and sell you the big issue, which you don't want because it's a shit magazine. Somebody's going to try and sell the Eye newspaper, whatever it is. And this is just as you're leaving the underground. Once you get outside, it's going to stink. It's going to be full of smog. Someone's going to try and rob you. Someone's going to try and, probably not stab you, but someone's going to try and rob you, definitely. There's a chance you may get stabbed. A pigeon will shit on you, and it'll be raining. And you can't see what you wanted to see anyway because it's closed for reservations.
You just
Actually,
described every holiday I've had in my childhood.
Was it all to London?
No, it was all in the north, unfortunately. The rest of England is exactly the same.
True.
But I've been to the UK, to London, 2 times or 3 times, and I never had rain there for weekends. So I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky, or you guys are lying always about the weather. I guess you're
It
lying.
rains. In the middle of summer's okay, but if you come outside of like June to September, there is a 1 in 3 chance it will rain today. It's rained all day today.
Yeah, it's the same here in the Netherlands, I guess.
I got up in the morning and went, oh, it's raining.
Rain
That's
is
why
very
it's
common.
still raining.
To the English people just complain about it more than most of the countries, that's all.
We just like to complain.
We do. We love it.
The English people have 3 good skills. We can queue really well.
Oh, yes.
We can complain a lot.
Oh, yes.
And we can make a pretty good cup of tea.
Well,
Well, I heard that a lot of people, from from the UK put milk in tea, so I'm not a big fan of that.
See, I put milk in tea, but the water goes in first. If anyone puts milk in first, stop listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Stop
Oh my
listening to
God.
this podcast.
Alternatively, send us a death threat over how you make tea.
This
You are
discussion.
not wanted on this podcast if you put milk in first. Stop if Americans, stop microwaving it. Just boil the kettle, put the water in with the tea bag, and then add sugar if you want, add lemon if you want, add milk if you want. Fine. Just stop fucking microwaving tea bags.
Pete, are you still in the DCTV Discord?
I am still in the DCTV Discord, yeah.
Were you there when they had the discussion milk or water first? in
I
tea?
was reading, yes, but I wasn't getting involved.
Oh, that was so beautiful. That really went into a massive heated debate, and I think they had it a few times. So that was.
But it was like, it got vicious though. Like, these people
Yeah.
weren't arguing for, like, we'll argue it for the sake of a joke, but they were not joking.
No, they were definitely not joking.
Like, people were genuinely getting upset about how somebody else makes their own cup of tea.
But yeah.
Just don't. If you put milk in first, just don't offer me one, please. The only acceptable time to put milk in first is if you're using a teapot.
Why?
Because then because if you put you have a teapot, you put the water in, you put the tea bag in, you're brewing the tea anyway, and then you pour it in the mug and add milk. So it's not affecting the brew; it's still brewed correctly.
Ah, okay, makes sense. A little bit,
Or you could just not drink tea.
or not put milk in it.
Yeah, if I have
Alright.
tea, I don't have milk in it.
I'll drink black tea, but I prefer it milk in it.
I don't really like
Why,
tea.
why
though,
are you so weak, James? Why are you so weak?
But I'm still the person that leaves the tea bag in.
Yeah, I also do that, but that's more out of laziness.
I just chew the tea bag. I don't bother with a cup.
It needs to be strong. I like it strong. I'll leave the tea bag in for a while. I normally end up leaving it in the mug because I forget about it. Take it out 3 days later and go, it's fucking disgusting. But I do like to put milk in it as well. I just like milk. I had milkshake for dinner tonight when I had a burger and milkshake.
You did, but
I'm a
like
6-year-old
homemade
child.
burger, so you had.
I had burger and... Well, I didn't make homemade the burgers. I bought the burgers from Tesco's pre-made.
Oh
But they
no!
were fresh,
Now
not-
I'm disappointed.
They were fresh, not frozen. They were proper minced burgers.
Well, fresh, not frozen. That means it was
Yeah.
almost done myself.
Yeah, but you get frozen ones. They're like bird's eye and they're horrible. These were actual proper meat burgers, not offal. And then I had some smoked bacon and some mozzarella on it. And I cooked the mozzarella, the burgers with the mozzarella on it, so it melted together. And I cooked the burgers in the bacon fat because it made it nicer.
But I never
then I
get
had
how do you eat mozzarella? So you drink the juice, and what do you do with those balls that are?
This
in
is
the
the thing that's what bothers me. What do you do? I use them for shuttlecocks. I play badminton with them.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know what else. Like in the past, you could put them in your old mouse because you needed to sometimes replace that ball.
Did you feed it to the new mouse?
That's a very small hole. I need to push it through with the current one, so I can try next time.
I would like to see pictures of this and the smell. It goes about a week later when it's dried out. But no, I cheated and I bought pre-sliced mozzarella. It wasn't mozzarella in water, so...
Oh well,
Cool.
you've disappointed us all for
Do you
the last
guys
time.
actually drink the mozzarella juice?
No,
Is that a thing?
no, it was a
No,
meme a
of
while
course
ago.
not. Jesus Christ! I know.
I don't know.
I
It
know.
might have.
It was a meme a while ago. You know the disappointed Gordon
was
Ramsay
a,
face.
It was a meme, but I'm
Yeah.
worried that people actually do it.
I mean, people
actually-
might do.
I have some Italian colleagues. I can ask them tomorrow if they ever use it for something, because also when you buy how's it called, peaches, like canned peaches, for example, the fluid that is
tin peaches, yeah.
yeah, if the fluid that is in it, I sometimes use that for cooking to add some extra flavor. Or if it's too
See,
spicy, I add the fluid, so you also
Yeah, but
use it, but most
cheese
people throw
juice.
it away.
Cheese juice is you. What you
I
gonna
don't
use
know,
that for
but
cooking? Actually, you
there
know
are-
what? No,
But see,
okay, I don't like cheese,
ti-
but it potentially could be used for like frying bread in or something.
In the UK, tin peaches are offered in sugar water, so what you do is you keep the water because it tastes nice.
That's an
Okay.
interesting story, James.
Yeah.
We were talking about tin peaches.
Yeah, we were. Okay, I'll give you that.
It was perfectly valid to the conversation.
Okay,
Yeah, he's
let's
right,
rate
he's
canned
right.
fruit. Come on, top tier canned fruit. Pineapple? No, fuck off. Pineapple's horrible.
Pineapple is great.
No,
pineapple is fucking disgusting.
thank
Pineapple is great. This
Science is on my
This is
side.
the rock I will die on.
you. of all the controversial
I
opinions you've
fucking
had,
love pineapple.
Well, you're on your own with that one. I can't stand
I
it.
bought frozen pizzas, Pete, and you'll never guess what they've got on them.
Pineapple, by any chance?
Yeah.
You know, see, that's something that I would make a fuss out of as a joke, but I actually don't care what you eat, James.
Yeah.
You know, if people ask me on Discord, I will kick the fuck off for about 2 hours about how they shouldn't have pineapple on pizza, but I'm actually not bothered.
I really annoyed someone on their stag night. I wasn't on the stag night with them. They
Somebody else's stag night, you bloody party crasher.
Somehow I managed to ruin it because we were on a night out, and where we used to order the taxis from, there was a pizza house right next door, or like takeaway kebabs, pizzas, burgers, that sort of thing. Perfect.
I thought you meant a
basement.
house
Drunk
made out
people-
of pizza, and now I can't hear the story.
No. Drunk people walk out of the club, order the taxi, say it's going to be 20 minutes, and you walk into the kebab shop, or pizza house, whatever you want to fucking call it. And so we were in there, we'd ordered our taxi, and they were like, which one? I said, I would like a pineapple and sweet corn pizza, please. And this guy lost his shit.
I think I'd actually eat that, you know.
It was his wedding the next day. They had the stag the day before the wedding, which you don't do anymore because that's stupid. He was absolutely rat-assed. And the last I saw of it was his best man punching him for being a knob.
Nice.
But
So he's going to
my
go to his
only-
wedding tomorrow
Yeah, no,
with his
go
best
ahead,
man
go
who
ahead.
doesn't want to talk to him. Black eye, because he punched him square in the middle of the nose. It was 2 black eyes, like a fucking raccoon. Blood pouring out his nose. Stood at his wedding going, some cunt last night got a pineapple and sweet corn pizza. Just sit down.
And then his wife's just going, well, he fucking deserved to be shouted at. I cannot believe anybody stopped you.
Pineapple and sweet corn is good.
I just have one question. Why would you ever think it's a smart idea to have your stag night the day before your wedding?
I don't know.
It was used to be the
Because- I
thing
have
to do,
no
though.
idea.
It was so
It
common.
used to be.
Really? Because I only saw that in the movies ever.
Traditionally, that's how it was, but traditional stag night was you go out for a meal with your groomsmen and all that lot, and you have a steak and you have a couple of scotches and a nice cigar, and you go home at a sensible time because you're getting married the next day.
Yes.
These days, stag nights go on for, they go paintball, you go for a night, you go for curry, you have a night out, you wake up 3 days later in Magaluf. It's just a mess.
Yeah, exactly. That's how a proper stag night should be.
It's like we're currently planning my cousin's stag night because he's getting married next year.
Are we invited?
Probably, sure, why not?
Okay, yeah, because otherwise, why are you going to tell this?
Well, what we're going to do
I'm
is
not
we're going to
coming.
hire bikes and go tour the Alps on motorbikes.
Oh, no thanks.
Okay. No, I also skip.
I tell you
But a
what,
few
Perry,
years
if
ago
you
we
want to
did-
come to the UK anyway...
No, I can't.
I was going to say me and you can paint
Are
miniatures
you not allowed
together.
in the UK either? Have you been dropping trout in the UK as well?
No, but something Brexit happened, and in
Oh, yeah, that's
October- and since October, I need a passport, and I don't have one yet.
Well, get a passport, then you can come see Pete.
You know what, actually, it's unbelievable the amount of people that's affected as well.
Yeah, it's absurd. It's really absurd.
Because it's only
But-
the UK, but...
At least you now don't have enough money because you don't need to pay the European Union anymore, and now you can fund the NSH properly and all the other things.
Oh, yeah, because that's definitely happening. You know, they've not just pissed
No,
all
but
that
that
money at the
was,
wall on cheese and wine parties.
Potato, potato.
Do I need a passport to go to Europe now? No, sorry. Do I need a visa to go to Europe now?
How should I know?
He's already in Europe, he doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. With my card, I
got
can
a-
travel through many, many countries. So
The worst one for me is the French-Belgian border. I didn't know I was in Belgium for half hour.
yeah, because it's Belgium has technically 3 languages. They also speak German, but everyone forgets that. But they have a big part that is
Flemish.
French speaking, and they're shat upon constantly, which is funny.
But yeah, we decided to do this charity drive. I've mentioned it before on the podcast. And we left Lille, and we were driving down the road, and the guy said, right, Lille is absolutely rammed, because we had like 40 cars, so people were starting to turn up and look at us and take pictures and stuff. We're like, let's get out of Lille. It's like 9 o'clock, it's rush hour, it's crazy. Let's get out of Lille, and we'll stop at the first service station once you get into Belgium. Now we're driving down this road, and we passed a load of the guys stopped at the service station, and we thought, we're not in Belgium yet. And then, yeah, we're going down this road and all that lot, and the sign said Luxembourg, 100 or 240 kilometres, and I'm like, we missed the border.
Yep.
I'm a pretty good driver. I didn't even know we hit the border. Like, when we went France to as France to Germany and that sort of thing, there's flags, and you got the French flag and the German flag and a sign saying Willkommen Deutschland or whatever it
I'm
is.
sorry, James. Did you just say you're a pretty good driver, but you're surprised you missed the border? Because your ability
Exactly.
to drive has nothing to
This
do
is
with the fact that it's not marked clearly for you.
Okay, but you're fairly aware. Well, other people saw it, I just didn't see it.
Fair enough.
That's more what I'm going on about, is I tend to pay quite a good attention when I'm driving. Completely missed the border. Saw the German border like 4 times, saw the Italian border about 30 times. Because, like, the road...
What, were you just
The
like
ro- the
stopping and starting reversing backwards and forwards? Like,
No,
Yeah.
the road-
Italy, not
the road
Italy.
we were-
Italy, not Italy.
The road
Italy
we were
and not
driving down
Italy.
between Switzerland and Italy, it was like a wiggly road, and every 6 yards there was a sign saying, "Welcome to Italy, welcome to Switzerland, welcome to Italy, welcome to
Oh,
Switzerland."
because it was
The road
zigzagging in and out
crossing
of
the border.
it.
Which at the same time, you know, when you're travelling around Europe, I don't know if this works, it's the same for you, Perry, but it is for us. Every time you go to a different country, you get a text saying, "Welcome to Italy, these are the potential charges. Welcome to Switzerland." My cousin's phone went fucking nuts. She got about 30 texts saying, "Italy, Spain, sorry, Italy, Switzerland, Italy, Switzerland, Italy,
You
Switzerland."
got one from Spain. How long's this road?
Well, we got to Spain eventually because we went down that way, but...
Yeah, so for me, I don't know why, but maybe it's because I live super close to both the German and the Belgian border. But I don't get those texts. I think it took my phone provider 2 months before I got a text, "Welcome to Portugal. Your data plan is still valid here."
See,
Did you get that
on
when
my
you'd already
phone, I
got
didn't-
back to the Netherlands?
Yeah, exactly. The first one I got when I came back for the inauguration of my boss, which was very funny. But yeah, it's weird. But maybe it's because it's Europe and I'm living close to the border that they switch it off or something. Or
But this is the thing, is I didn't get all these texts. We're both on the same network, we're both on O2. He got loads, we have the same phone, well, I did at the time.
Well, you know your
He
mates
got
are,
loads of
don't
texts,
you?
I didn't get a single one.
Even your phone network doesn't like you, James.
yeah, exactly.
No, nobody texted me.
Yeah, that's what Pete said.
I phoned you on Saturday, Pete, and you ignored me.
I
which
did,
is
yeah.
rude.
Well, it is rude. Well, you can think it's rude. I just choose to do what the fuck I want with my life, and you have no effect on that. Was that harsh enough? I just need someone to confirm that was harsh enough.
Yeah, that was the
Can't
right
myself to
amount
sleep.
of harshness to be.
Thank you very
polite.
much.
I'm going to make your voice squeaky this podcast.
That's absolutely fine.
I have no idea how to do that.
I don't listen
do
to the
that.
podcasts anyway, so I don't care what you do.
However,
explain to me how to make you squeaky.
Not last podcast, but the podcast before with the Christmas, you guys were talking about Happy was talking about Belgium.
I knew you were going to defend Belgium at some point.
Well, that's a little bit the thing, because Happy said 2 things. Brussels sprouts are amazing, and I fully agree. I went to my parents today for dinner just so that I could have Brussels sprouts. So
Brussels sprouts are horrible.
no, you never made them correctly then. That's what also Happy tried to tell you. If they're horrible and if they smell, you're not doing it good.
Yeah, but I don't like cabbage at all, because they're part of the cabbage family, so I'm probably not going to like them even if they're cooked nicely.
Well, I can't help it that you don't have taste, but his other point was that Brussels sprouts are amazing, but Brussels is shit. And I'm very sorry, Yari, if you're listening to this. I like the rest of Belgium, especially the part where Yari is from. But Brussels is really shit, man. They have like 1 or 2 nice neighborhoods, and that's where the king lives, etc. But outside that, it's like the ghetto.
Belgium has a king?
Yes, of course. It's
I
actually
didn't know this.
funny thing. It's a German family tree. But after during the First World War or after it, they changed their name to be like less German.
That's
Are you
that's
sure
some
that's an
sort of
English
level of
national family?
disguise.
No,
that,
because
isn't
it was
Because the English royal family is very similar.
yeah, I think it's the same. It's Saxon Coburg Gotha or something. That's the Belgian kingdom, I think.
Something like that. But then the King of England, someone to do with France and someone to do with Russia were all cousins anyway, weren't they? Or something
Yeah,
stupid
I mean,
like
it was the entire monarchy 2 centuries ago was just one big
that. Yeah.
circle. Their entire family tree was one big circle, I think. But
Let's face it, we've all probably played Crusader Kings. When everybody starts fucking themselves and fucking their own sisters, they're gonna be related. But you're gonna win the game.
yeah, true. But you can also just prevent that, huh?
So are you saying that Germany won the game by fucking its own family?
Germany didn't win. That's one of the key points of the war, Pete. You're getting very wrong here.
Well, all the monarchies seem to be German, James. I think the results
Maybe-
beg to
yeah,
differ.
Yeah, actually, Germany are maybe winning, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we get a 4-day bank holiday this year, Pete.
What for?
You didn't get bank holidays off, do you?
No.
Because the Queen's reigning for 75 years. This
What
year,
the fuck's that
75
got to
years.
do with anything? Why is that? Right, okay, first of all, bank holiday
It
means
means
literally.
I get a 4-day bank holiday.
Okay, apart from you, it means literally only the banks are off because every other fucker has to go to work. Which is annoying because the people who do get bank holidays off, which is, let's face it, a minority now, the people who do get those off would be pissed
I
off
still think it's
so
about
bad.
50-50.
They would be so pissed off if everybody else didn't work because they'd have nowhere to fucking go for the bank holiday as well. So they all get pissy saying like, "Oh, we should have an extra bank holiday for this." But all you people in retail, you stay at work so that we've got somewhere to go for our bank holiday. We don't want you to be off work, just us. Fuck off.
I don't tend to leave my house on the bank holidays. Is that acceptable? Can I have a day off then, Pete?
But no, because I still don't like you.
The one who messes it up is the business owners. Because they have to either give everybody an extra bank holiday or give the day off or pay an extra day's paid holiday, and they get no money for it.
Yeah.
Sucks.
So we have to shut for an extra 2 days this year. The boss has to pay 3 people's wages, including himself, because the government said so. Look, you have to shut. We
Well,
don't
I
have
mean,
to,
it's
but-
a fairly simple solution. Either
Don't
pay and stop complaining, or don't pay and get the fuck out. No.
But I like the day off. The boss doesn't like paying for it.
Yeah.
This
Again,
is the problem.
Sounds like a he problem, not a me problem.
But yeah, they're chucking extra bank holiday in, but who pays for it?
Who cares?
It's
Nobody
only
should pay
one
for
day
it.
in 1 year. It's not going. To
There's
be...
9 this year.
Yeah, but
they
the
have
8
have
of
one
them is
extra.
expected.
No, we have 2 extra this year.
Oh,
2
we
in
have
a
two.
row.
We have
I don't-
Thursday, Friday.
I
for some
don't
reason.
I don't keep track of how many bank holidays there are a year because they don't matter to me.
But Pete,
Speaking
don't
of
you
which-
get paid more if you work on a bank holiday, or is it
I
not the
don't
range?
know.
Oh, okay.
Probably not, but you probably get an extra day's holiday because of it. If you work a bank holiday, you should get another day's holiday.
My holidays aren't worked
allowance
out
for it.
like that. I'm a 0-hour contract boy, so I can have as much time off as I want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but you should get a day's paid holiday.
No.
I'm not sure if you have a 0-hour contract, at least in the Netherlands. I don't think you get paid time off.
No,
Well, they banned
can't.
0-hour contracts.
No, they can't ban them. That would be a very, very difficult thing to do. But what they have done is made it so that anybody who's on a 0-hour contract should have the option to have their hours contracted. So I can enter into a contract for my hours. If I want
based
to.
on the average of amount of hours you worked in the last X months or years.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's quite flexible with who I work for, but I can enter a contract for as many or as few hours as I want to. But anywhere that offers a 0-hour contract must also, I think it's after a certain amount of time you've employed them for, you have to then offer them an option of contracted hours. Because to get rid of them entirely would be a very expensive endeavour.
And also a little bit for some sectors, I think it would be really a financial burden to remove them. Because, for example, in
seasonal work and things like
yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah, I was looking for
Yeah.
the word. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
But
mean,
then obviously part of the problem is some employers took advantage of it, didn't they?
yeah. That's the issue is that it was being taken advantage of, especially in the hospitality sector, things like that. Because you can, if sales just plummet for some reason, like for instance, COVID was a great excuse for them to just say, "You're not getting scheduled any hours, you mate." But
Yeah, but it wasn't just that as well. 'Cause
No, it
there were
wasn't,
there were some places that would be like, you'd go in for a shift, get there, and be like, "Oh no, we don't need you. It's not busy enough." Even though
Yeah.
you've now wasted your days, be spent X amount getting there, and
Yeah,
But
doing
don't you
what your
get
job is,
paid
you
for
may
a
have-
minimum amount of hours then?
Nope. That was the issue. You didn't.
Yeah, in the
zero-hour
Netherlands you
contracts.
do. I think a minimum of 3 hours if they send you home before that. You need to get
yeah,
paid
our
for at least-
employment law sucks, so we wouldn't get that.
Yeah, I thought it was a European thing, but
Well, it
This
might
is
have
why
been.
we left Europe.
So that we could fist our employees even harder.
nice.
No, it's a different thing. Though it's like there's other
your
things to
bottom
consider
fisted?
though. A 0-hour contract might suit some people so that they can so they can work 3 weeks and then take 6 weeks off, or whatever they need to do around family life. And
Do
things
you
Like that.
earn paid holiday on your contract, Pete?
I earn paid holiday. Yeah,
I think that was the change I was thinking of. I think they put it in that you had to have the option to earn
it's
holiday. and
always
that sort of
been
thing.
like that for us though. It's
For,
been
for you guys, it may have been, but
Yeah.
you work for a fairly reputable company.
yeah.
Obviously, there were some people that were shady as fuck with 0 hour
Yeah,
contracts. weren't
yeah,
there?
that's why the law around it changed. That's why people had to be offered all these extra things to go along with the 0 hours. So, like for me, the 0 hour really suits me because I'm currently working 50 hours plus a week, which is working out great financially. But then, if Charlotte starts bringing more money in, I can drop that down to 30 something hours a week. So,
Yeah.
it's totally in my control, which is why I've not entered into a contract.
See, what was I going to say then? I've already completely fucking forgotten. Oh, yeah. We talk about holidays and stuff. I booked my holiday this year.
Where are you going?
Centre Parks, again.
I think you told me this.
But I'm going to a different Centre Parks.
Oh, fancy. I'm sure it'll
going
feel
to-
completely different.
I'm going to the one in Longleat because it's like 4 hours closer.
Where did you go before that?
Milton Keynes. It's not. It's only supposed to take like 3 hours to get to Milton Keynes from my house, but it took us 7 because of traffic.
Why aren't
You're
you
stuck in
travelling in the
M25
middle of the
and
night
all
like normal English people do?
Because you can only check in between certain times.
But that's why you camp in the car until you can check in. That's
Or
part of the holiday
you-
experience.
Or
What,
just
until 4
contact
when I
them.
can check in? So I can like drive to the Centre Parks car park and sit there for like 8 hours. No, thank you, Pete.
Well, okay,
Yeah, but
this
it-
is the guy who like drove around Europe in a shitty car and slept in it.
I didn't sleep in the car. I was in hotels.
You said you stayed in the car.
No, I didn't.
Did you not?
No, people assume we stayed in the car. No, I stayed in hotels. Thank you very much.
You losers.
How can I stay in the car when there's a fucking mast in the middle of it and a roll cage to support the mast?
Sounds like a you problem. Thanks for
I
that,
can barely
Perry.
get my bag in there. Never mind.
Why would you
Oh.
have a roll cage in your car? What the fuck were you doing?
Rolling.
No, wait,
put,
I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
We put a mast into the car.
You turned it into a pirate ship. It's actually pretty impressive. I saw the pictures.
Yeah, I think I recall that, yeah. I don't know where he showed it, but he showed it.
You know what? This week has been absolutely fantastic because I've had a second person to disagree with James with me.
See, I don't agree with this. I will send you a picture of the car later, Perry, just to explain why there was a roll cage in it.
No, I think you
It's a-
already shared it once.
Oh,
It was
there you
a,
go
it
then.
was a charity run. You drove around Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I remember.
but the roll cage was in to support because we had to cut holes in the roof and to stop the mast like peeling the car like an egg. We had to
Did
put a
you
roll cage in
did
to
you
support
see
the
this,
mast.
Perry, from him talking about it in Discord, or do you remember it from listening to one of our previous podcasts?
No, it's from Discord because I remember seeing pictures of
But it's also in a
two
previous podcast.
people. Yeah, but, well, I didn't. I only listened to the last two. But I
I was
think
going to
it's
say,
on-
you
oh,
just
okay.
proved another point of mine that nobody listens to the podcast, James.
We gained more subscribers. We're at 32 now, Pete.
Yeah, I was one of them. So
There you go.
Yeah, and the other ones were
So-
other people that you were just chatting to in Discord that you put on the spot and said like, "Oh, it's up to our podcast on YouTube." While you got you,
But they didn't do it there and then. They did it later, which means they then went onto it at a later date and subscribed.
day is
Oh.
only one, huh?
Yeah, shut up.
But no, I remember seeing a picture of two people in a pirate suit standing in
Yeah, that
front
was
of a
me.
car.
Yeah, that was me with a mask sticking out the top.
Yeah, I can't remember the.
well, the
mask,
car
but,
had the mask sticking out the top. James didn't.
Yeah, I don't think I did. I was in a parrot costume at one point as well.
Parrot.
Right. Yes, parrot. Pirates have parrots, don't they?
Okay.
Logical, isn't it?
I'd like to take an opportunity here to point out that nobody sent me any death threats to read out, so there's a bit of a.
I was
letdown.
actually thinking of doing something yesterday, but then.
And why didn't you? I would have read it out. Oh, you've just.
Yeah,
missed it.
because I was like, shall I ask if you can say it in the accent of a certain city in the Netherlands? But then I was like, no, I cannot do that. Because then I also need to send him videos and he won't understand anything. And it was, yeah. It felt too bad to do it now.
So you couldn't have just picked like a goofy accent. You had to go with something very oddly specific, right?
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
it's goofy and oddly specific. That's the thing.
You-
Because I am from the south of Limburg, so if any Dutch people are listening to this podcast, they will probably have already noticed I'm from Limburg, and we talk a bit slower than the rest. Yeah, we were always mocked for that. We also have a little bit of a singing voice, but it's even worse because like every city has their own accent and their own dialect, and we all shit on each other's cities and dialects, and etc. But I wanted to send you one from the south of Limburg, which is very, very specific. But then I thought, no, I cannot do this. It's poor Pete.
Well, see, at that point, I'd have to listen to them speak their language and imagine what they would sound like trying to speak English.
That's the thing. I could send you like 1,000 songs on Carnival, which is where they sing in dialect. So I had plenty of opportunity. Maybe I will still do it.
Does one of your cats need feeding?
No, she just wants attention.
Oh. Meow. Perry has amazing cats, James. Put a picture of Perry's cats up for this.
Yes, I will. Do you want a grumpy one?
Yes, we want a grumpy cat picture.
Yeah, it's in the Discord. I can tag you in it.
They're honestly the cutest pair of cats I've ever laid eyes on. Especially Pip. Those eyes.
Yeah, I have the one that I'm now using, and I will send it. I will send it as well. It's a very.
I saw that picture earlier.
Yes,
right,
because it's
anyway,
from today.
Now we're starting to spiral a bit into randomness. I think it'd be a good time to end the podcast. It's been about an hour, Pete.
It's been about an hour already. My goodness. That time after I went for a pee just absolutely flew. Whereas if I still need a pee right now, then I would be dancing around.
I am just going to leave that in.
Yeah, that's fine. You leave everything in. Every time I need to cough, I think they're going to hit the mute switch and I never get it in time. And I think, oh, it's okay, we can edit that out, knowing full well that you've just destroyed someone's ears.
Yep.
And I'd like to put on record here at the end of this podcast that if you, James, because this is what you want, if you want to get 100,000 subscribers on anything, then you're going to have to start editing stuff like that out.
No. I want to give people
the
natural, true conversation that we have.
Yes, but I also told this, I think yesterday, to Pete after listening to the podcast. If someone burps, you should really edit that out, man.
I'll get around to it one day. When I have more time to be able to actually edit it in more than half a day, which is what I have, we'll get
The thing
better.
is, James, you do have the time, but you spend all that time playing mobile games or pursuing your other interests.
Why are we now abusing James? Let's end the podcast.
Pete, are you going to say it or am I going to say it?
I think you can say it. You can do the honours.
If you don't have time to edit it all out, but you need to, that sounds like a you problem and not a me problem.
You're the ones moaning about it. It sounds like a you problem. This has been the Words from Mouths podcast. I'm Pete. No, I'm not. I'm James.
What's going on?
He's Pete. Perry's been our guest. Thank you very much for coming on today, Perry.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a blast to be here.
It was a pleasure having you.
I don't want to talk to you again for another week, Pete, so we'll wait till next week to be able to talk again.
That's absolutely fine by me.
Thank you everybody for listening. Please like, subscribe, do all that normal shit, download it, rate it on Spotify, blah, blah, blah. Bye!
Bye.
Arrivederci.